Welcome back to another conversation with me. I've been Amandi right here on PCG TV in Thy Light. There is light. Today's conversation is with the author of The Pulpit 2025 Sermon Guide. You don't want to miss any part of this conversation, so stay tuned. Welcome back, and with me here in the studios of PCG TV is Reverend Richard Asumah. He is the author of The Pulpit 2025 Sermon Guide. This is the book I am talking about. And the man is right here with me to share his journey, to share his life experiences, and some lessons that you and I would definitely find useful. Papa, you are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much. It's an honor to have you right here talking to me.
I'm also glad to meet you.
Interesting. Papa, before we delve into your journey, since I have the book in my hand,
Okay.
what inspired you to write this book?
Thank you very much. I was inspired by God, and as a result of long experiences of preaching the word of God and a pastoral journey, decided to do this project to support ministers and catechists, lay preachers, and all serious Christians to help them in their sermon preparation and their daily Christian living.
I like the fact that it's kind of a copy for the almanac
Yes.
that we use
Yes,
weekly.
please.
Yes, it's a very resourceful book, yeah. Now, we will have time to talk about it. I actually wanted you to give us a highlight because I have it in hand and I did not want to miss any updates right here or what influenced you to write.
I'll be glad
book.
to do that.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Tell us a bit about you and what inspired you, your inner being, to go into ministry.
Thank you once again. Well, what inspired me to go into a ministry from infancy? I've been a Christian. My mother and father, or my parents, they were all Christians,
Okay.
Presbyterians, of course. And there was not a single Sunday that you would not go to church. So from there through secondary school, and then till the time I completed university, I've been involved in God's work. I was a JY teacher, and through that, when I went to secondary school, I also became the school chaplain. And from there...
But wait, what secondary school did you go to?
I went to Kumasi High School.
Oh, okay. All right, let's continue.
The first batch, SSS.
Which year?
1991 to 1993.
Okay, you should take a note and jot that down because I don't know where you were at the time. But please, let's continue.
Thank you. So from there, as a school chaplain, when I was about to complete, I told my colleagues that I will be a teacher because I want to be Osofo.
You knew you wanted to be Osofo already?
Because I was doing that, preaching to the school every Wednesdays and Sundays. On Sundays, we go to church service. Wednesday, we go to assembly. And at the assembly hall, the school chaplain or the chaplain prefect has to preach, give short exhortation before any announcement and what have you. So,
please forgive me for chipping in with the petty questions. But you know, some of us, the youth,
okay,
we check how you dress, how you carry yourself about in school or campus, and then we call you Osofo. Whether you like it or not, that is your name. It will be your nickname or your title forever.
Yes.
But you actually knew you wanted to be an Osofo.
I didn't
because
know
you were the chaplain.
I can't tell whether I was just saying it.
Okay.
But most of the people who were close to me were calling me Osofo.
Oh, you got that too, right?
So that is how it was, and it came to be. So from secondary school after university, I was I started as a teacher. So my first station was close to Kaswa. So I started attending church at Emmanuel Congregation.
Okay.
So when I was there, because of my involvement in the church activities, the session by then and the minister in charge by then saw me to be someone who is much interested in helping God's work. Okay. So because of that, they appointed me to take care of a preaching point, and that is where it started. So as I was caring for that church, I it got to a stage I decided to enroll to be a full catechist. So I attended catechist course. So after the catechist course, by then the church was growing, was becoming very big. And from there, as a catechist in charge, I realized that I have to continue to do more God's work. And if I want to continue, then I have to get some training. That is where I decided to apply to be a minister. So I decided to inform my district minister by then, Reverend Boache. So he's retired now.
No.
So when I informed him, he advised me and counseled me. And my own brother too was by then in Kaswa district. So I discussed that with him, and he also directed me to see a friend colleague. And they all counseled me, and through that, I sat for SMT exams. And by God's grace, I passed. I attended interview, and then for the first time, I didn't go through. The exams, I passed all right, but with the interview, I was not picked to continue. So the following year, I decided to sit for the SMT exam, entrance exams again. And by God's grace, I passed again. So when we attended the interview, by God's grace, I was successful. And I started the SMT training in the year 2011. And by God's grace, 2013, I was commissioned. And then 2015, I was ordained as a Presbyterian minister.
I don't want to ask you of your challenges from leading the preaching points to being a catechist to being a minister, because obviously you have actually been victorious over all of that. That is how come you are here at the moment. Now, I want us to focus on your wins now. You're the immediate
past clerk
for the Central
Presbytery, yes.
As we just mentioned, Central Presbytery, what is one of the moments that came to your mind? I like the smile.
It's a very challenging assignment, but it's also good. You gain a lot of experience because you write more and you meet a lot of people. Right. For example, every year you have opportunity to attend General Assembly, and there you'll be exposed to be in a workshop group. And so far as you are a clerk, definitely they will give you a role to be a secretary to a workshop group. And there you, after everything, you have to present to the General Assembly during the plenary session. So doing this presentation is something that it gives you exposure for you to do a lot of the church activities. So, in fact, I've never regretted being a clerk. And more so during my time, there was the COVID. So during the COVID, I quite remember because of the COVID, we couldn't, during commissioning service and what have you, they divided it into sessions.
Okay.
It was, for example, they will do some in, they will combine those candidates from Central Presbytery, West Achem Presbytery, and then Western Presbytery. They will combine these candidates and then they will do it at a particular congregation. And it is so, the fortunate or part of me, I was so fortunate, let me say, that in all these commissioning services, I led the service during this commissioning service. So that is one thing I see that I thank God for, because it is not all clerks that will get this opportunity. Because for you to be a service leader for a commissioning service is not easy. It is only clerk of General Assembly that does that. But during the COVID time, I quite remember, sorry, because of the COVID, I led a lot of commissioning service. And even during ordination service at Kaswa, I also led, I was a service leader.
Great. Papa, think about one of the lessons, one lesson that you can give to us at the moment. But while you think about it, we are taking a brief break to be right back.
Stories come alive, voices are heard, and faith meets inspiration. This is PCG TV. From news to powerful sermons, from business spotlights to youth-driven conversations, we bring you content that informs and transforms. Do you need media coverage, live streaming, documentary and video production, or event coverage? PCG TV is your best stop. Call us today on 0257 353 533 and follow us on all social media platforms at PCG TV. PCG TV, in thy light, there is light.
Welcome back. It is getting so interesting here. And I know you are taking some notes as well. Papa will delve into one lesson for us and then we will continue with another conversation that we have right here. Papa, I mentioned that you think about your conversation, your lesson that you would like to share with us. Just one lesson from your role as the clerk of the Central Presbytery. With all the opportunities that you had, the ones that you were privileged, the ones that you still see that it was a great opportunity for you, what lesson would you tell us right now?
One lesson I learned during my clerkship is that I realized that as a clerk of a presbytery, you don't have to go out without your pen and your diary. Because at every event, you have to take record. If you miss taking record, then you are putting your presbytery into danger, because you have to account for everything. And your chairperson might not follow all the events. So at the end of the day, you are the person who will give all the information to your chairperson. And even he will ask you to write and present to standing committee, council meeting, and what have you. So if you don't take record very well, you are going to put your presbytery, especially your chairperson, in trouble, because when he is to attend GAC, he will not be able to report what the presbytery is doing. So for you to get a very good report all the time, you have to work with your pen and your diary. So yeah, we take all the necessary event that goes on within the presbytery.
But just so that we also learn from your experience and your lesson as well, what's the difference between a clerk and a secretary?
For the clerk, you are being elected. You are elected to to be the principal of a presbytery, principal officer of a presbytery.
Okay.
With the secretary, administrative secretary of a presbytery, they are appointed like they are employed to work at the presbytery. So most of the time, after getting all the report and everything, you give the information to the administrative secretary
Okay.
for him or her to put things together, and then he will give it back to you. You go through, see that everything is in order before you meet your chairperson.
I actually asked because we have YPG secretaries, you have secretaries, and other
Other
other secretaries
the
who,
generational group secretary.
yes, who would go to meetings without their pen or their diary. So just so we all know, as we pick nuggets from Papa's lesson in his journey, whether you find yourself in a local, district, presbytery, or national, once you are mandated to report, please go with your pen and your diary. If you don't remember anything at all from Papa's conversation, remember his name and what he just shared with us. Papa, now let's move on to your role now.
Yeah.
I'm aware that you are practicing ADR.
Yes, please.
And then you have an MPhil in counseling psychology as
yes.
well. These two fields or disciplines, how have they influenced your pastoral journey?
Thank you. In fact, I wish every pastor or minister of the gospel can have an opportunity to be trained as go through counseling psychology or what do you call it? Alternative dispute resolution. That is ADR.
Yeah.
Because with the psychology, people go through a lot of issues.
Okay.
So many things happen in our lives. And if you are not a trained counselor, you may misinterpret what the person is going through. So that if you're a minister and someone comes to you because of your background as a psychologist or a counselor, you'll be able to know how to respond to the person's situation, and then you assist the person to be able to come out from his or her problem. So with the counseling psychology, I wish every minister will have an opportunity to be trained to be a counselor. And there also, as ADR practitioner, there are so many issues that happens in among family, be in our marriage, among relatives, and even within the community. With the ADR, because of the training, you'll be able to resolve issues. Because most of the things that happen, people may advise you take it to maybe court, litigations and what have you. So with the ADR background, you'll be able to help individuals to resolve issues among themselves. So in the church, for example, we have people having issue with each other. So if you have that background and there is an issue, you can invite those people as a minister or as ADR practitioner, and then you help them to resolve that. Gone are the days in the session, the Presbyterian session.
Yeah.
We have people will bring their issues to the session. If there is a dispute within the dispute in the family, they will not take it to court. They see the session to be their court. So they will send the matter to the session for the session to resolve it. So if you have this background, you'll be on top, helping your congregational members to resolve their dispute and issues among them.
Papa, so with this experience that you have, what do you think that the church leadership need now, church leadership of today need? Would you comment that they need an experience or a background of ADR or counseling or psychology?
Yes, I know in our training we have counseling programs, but with the going forward to learn from the institution as a course is more helpful than just being it part of the pastoral program. After going through the ministerial training, if you get opportunity to do it, it is okay to do that.
Wow, that's great. Papa, I see that you came with your wife.
Yes, please.
And she's currently in the building with us.
Yes.
But I do not want to be a selfish one. I want to share. We say sharing is caring, right? And when Christ came, he also shared his life with us. That's why he came. Papa, how has Mama's presence in your life as your wife contributed to your ministry?
Mama has been a backbone of my ministry. Aside God, who is with me as his servant, Mama is a wonderful woman. She's a minister herself. She has that charismatic charisma or character, and she's able to support me in everything. For example, before I come out to do anything, she will ask me to find out what the program I have today, how will I go about it, and then we will discuss it, and she will also advise me. But in the church, she's superb because she's able to sing, she's able to lead prayers. So everywhere we have been, we start a prayer service, and it's different. It's different because of her.
That is charismatic. Now, did you all observe how Papa's enthusiasm increased at the sound of his wife? Did you all? If you did not observe that, maybe you should actually make a date and then have a playback, and then you see how Papa's demeanor changed abruptly when he heard of his wife. His wife is in the building. As I mentioned, I do not want to be selfish, and so we take a quick breather. When we come back, you get to see Mrs. Asumah. Don't go anywhere.
Stories come alive, voices are heard, and faith meets inspiration. This is PCG TV. From news to powerful sermons, from business spotlights to youth-driven conversations, we bring you content that informs and transforms. Do you need media coverage, live streaming, documentary and video production, or event coverage? PCG TV is your best stop. Call us today on 0257 353 533 and follow us on all social media platforms at PCG TV. PCG TV, in thy light, there is light.
Welcome back from that break. If you just tuned in to PCG TV, we are having a conversation with Reverend Richard Asumah. He is the minister in charge of Calvary Congregation in Agona, Asafo, and the immediate past clerk of the Central Presbytery of PCG. And ladies and gentlemen, we are joined here by Mrs. Asumah. Now, allow me to let you eat in the breath, okay? Mrs. Hilda Ampoma Asumah is here. The better half of Reverend Richard Asumah. Mama, you are welcome.
Thank you, my dear.
I like your smile too.
Thank you.
Papa, Papa, I wanted to ask you what your favorite food is, but I have turned it. What is Mama's favorite food?
Just like my, she also likes fufu.
So Mama
Fufu,
likes fufu with
live soup.
Mama. Papa voted your light soup 100%. Now, between your light soup and Papa's light soup, be honest, who's will win?
I think I win.
You, oh, great. So there are ladies at the kitchen. Mama, sincerely, thank you for joining us here.
Thank you.
I like your charisma and the energy that you bring. How has it been for you supporting Papa's ministry and handling it with your calling or your responsibility?
Thank you. It has not been easy, but with God all things are possible. As he said it earlier on, he started as a catechist for more than 10 years, then became a minister. And you know, women with giving birth and other things, it has not been easy. But through prayer and self-discipline and then commitment, God has brought us this far. So I've been helping him a lot in the ministry. So that's what I can say.
Papa tells me that you are a teacher.
Yes.
Do you also teach in church, like children's service or the JY?
Oh,
Do you?
No, because I'm a singer. I'm always in the church because I'm a member of singing band, praises team, and then we even have singing ministry. I'm also a member of that.
That tells how supportive you've been to Papa and his ministry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at times I lead praises and adoration at church. Because of that, I'm not much involved in the ministry.
Mama, where you are involved is enough. Yeah, the anointing is there, it's enough. But Mama, one more thing. What would you say is the role of a minister's spouse to the ministry of the minister?
Okay, thank you. The role of a minister's spouse is very huge because even as a spouse, they say you need to do a lot. And then in addition to as a minister's spouse, it has become double. Because since he goes out to meet congregation, people gathered, you need to see to it that you prepare his meal or her meals in time. The dresses that he or she will put on, you have to make all these things available on time. Do what is expected of you before he goes out. And when he goes, people are watching. So any mistake on him or her will be attributed to you as the spouse. That you didn't check the soft well. So before the person goes out, you need to check the person well before he goes out. The dressing, everything.
Now, let me move on to Papa right there. But Mama, I'll come back to you.
Okay.
So when you were talking about the roles, you actually tailored it to everybody. So I'll come back to you to give us 1 to 2 specifics concerning Papa.
Okay.
So yeah, Papa, I'm coming back to you. You are in charge of the Calvary congregation. Yes. What excites you about being a minister in charge in the congregation at the moment?
Thank you very much. By God's grace, I think the environment is now different. The church is also different because per my where I started as a catechist I started in from Kaswa. So, and then when I became clerk, I was I was transferred to Abuna Sodru, and the congregation is also different. It's a, I would say, a Bereza or a Sodru congregation. It was a very big congregation, but currently, where I am, it is one among the oldest congregation in the presbytery, but it's a small congregation.
I like the fact that you said it's one of the oldest, but it's small. It means that you are actually in charge
Yes.
of the congregation.
Yes.
I like that. Mama,
because based on where I was before
moving there,
it's the oldest congregation, but it is not big as where I was.
And that's one thing that excites you about where you are.
Yes.
Great.
Because you have a lot of old people in the church, and you have to attend to them, and always they'll be coming to you. In Swedro, they don't come to you, but Aguna Safo, or my current congregation, every time, all the time, early morning before you wake up, somebody is knocking. Even you know if you wake up, grandpa, they'll be knocking. And
that's actually similar.
Everything they want Papa to know and how Papa can help.
It seamlessly moves me back to Mama. Mama, now tell us one of your roles, just one now.
Okay.
Regarding Papa's ministry.
I'm his prayer partner.
Okay.
A counselor. As he says, he's a counselor. I'm even more than a counselor to him.
Right.
Because in everything we have to discuss. If he's going through troubles, I'm the one that he will rely on. Then I also give him my advice and counseling.
God
and
bless
then
you.
that will boost him for him to go
God
with
bless
much
him.
confidence.
Yeah.
So I'm his counselor and a prayer partner.
Interesting. I like that part. Papa, finally, before we wrap up, our time is up.
Wow.
What is your advice for young ministers or even the youth who are actually looking at ministry as a full-time career?
Thank you. I think they have to always learn from the agents where the church that they find themselves, the congregation, they have to learn from the agent. If it is catechist, if it is a minister who is there, they should try to support that agent over there and also be ready to learn. And they should show commitment to the church activities. They should get involved in everything. So because as you continue to do that, if you have a call, it will come out by itself. But if you relax, you don't take part in the church activity or the church programs, and you think you have a call, it will be very difficult for it to come out. The more you get involved in the things of God, there that if indeed God wants to call you into ministry, it will be so obvious, and your agent there can even call you that I think this is what I am seeing in you, and therefore you have to show interest, pray about it, and if it is God's will, you can enroll to become an agent in the church.
Get involved in God's work and pray about it. If it is God's will, you will be. We are wrapping up. Briefly, Papa, tell us about your book and where we can get a copy.
By God's grace, I just want to say I thank God for the grace He gave me to be able to produce this book. In fact, it is a well-structured book which contains all the sermons in the on Sundays throughout the year, which has been simplified, and it is meant to support ministers catechists, and lay preachers. It should be their companion to help them in their sermon preparation. And I would say that you should not just let this book replace your personal preparation before Sunday. You should let prayer lead you in your preparation, and then you read broadly, and you also use the pulpit to support your sermon preparation, but not just to pick the book and then you go and stand on the pulpit preaching from it. Let it guide you. Prepare, pray, and God will help you to deliver a very inspired message, very educative, and very comfortable word of God.
Papa, where can we get copies?
You can get it through if online Amazon is there. Okay. If you type the pulpit 2025 7 guide Richard Asumah, it is there. And then also if you want a copy, for now you can call me through my phone 0244 18 17 68 0244 18 17 68.
Papa, thank you so much for gracing our moments with your honor.
Thank you for the opportunity given to me to talk about the pulpit.
And thank you, Mama.
You're welcome.
Papa's better half, counselor, and everything some. Yes, I mean you are God's image right beside him here. We are grateful for your presence as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear.
This is how we wrap up on the insightful conversation that we have had. I know that you have learned something. Papa is actually working on a second book, which is actually out. If you go to Amazon, you will get it. You type same destiny, different destination. That is the title of the book, and you will get the soft copy right now. If you want a hard copy, you just reach out to Papa and you will get that. Stay tuned to PCG TV. In thy light, there is light.
Stories come alive, voices are heard, and faith meets inspiration. This is PCG TV. From news to powerful sermons, from business spotlights to youth-driven conversations, we bring you content that informs and transforms. Do you need media coverage, live streaming, documentary and video production, or event coverage? PCG TV is your best stop. Call us today on 0257 353 533 and follow us on all social media platforms at PCG TV. PCG TV, in thy light, there is light.